Hello, high school soccer fans. We are here, Fair Grove, Missouri, ready for the matchup between the Fair Grove Eagles and the New Heights Christian Cougars. I'm Brian Schumacher. We are on 5G, so we're going to try to stream direct to the laptop broadcast today. We are under windy conditions. I'm actually tucked behind the shed here, trying to keep from blowing away. So I don't have the greatest view, but at least I'm not going to get blown over. Looks like we do have some pregame announcements they're going to do. You probably won't be able to hear the microphone from here, but we may have a national anthem. All right, we're finished with the national anthem. Teams are doing their opening handshake, and we'll be taking the field. What's that? Oh, no, I don't. Okay, thank you. Appreciate it. Cougars are on the south side of the field, going south to north to start out. Max Edrenner back in the lineup for the Cougars. That allows Brandon Schumacher to push up into a midfield position. Looks like we're opening up in a 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1, depending on the phase of play. The Schumacher brothers as the defensive mids, Michael Perrigan in the attacking mid position, Liam Nelson, Hudson Clevenger, and Kason Hamlin across the front. Max Anredder, Gavin Dole, Nixon Meningus, and Bennett Thomas across the back line, and Rush Stewart in the goal for the Cougars. Number 15, Jackson Anderson for the Fairgrove Eagles will take the kickoff. And that's the opening whistle. We're underway. Ball played to the near side, deflected by Ben Schumacher. Liam Nelson's there to win it. Nelson into the attack to Clevenger. Clevenger back to Nelson. And offside flag is up on Liam Nelson. It will be a free kick for the Eagles. Number 21, Shane Brewer, there to take the goal kick or the free kick for the Eagles. Into the middle of the field, Perrigan wins it with his chest. Brandon Schumacher is illegally dressed. Let's see, I think that's what they're saying. He's got some jewelry on or something like that that's caused a yellow card to be given to the coach. It's the coach's responsibility to make sure their players are properly equipped. All right, 39:20 on the clock. We'll take the restart on a drop ball. Perigin won the ball, so he gets the ball to do the drop. Edgar Nato subs in the game for Brandon Schumacher. And we're started. Perigin flips it over the top for Clevenger on the run into the box. Number 5, Tim Barber defending. Barber goes to the ground, clears it out on the sideline. It'll be a throw-in for the Cougars. Clevenger there to take the throw into the box, all the way to the 6-yard mark, and 21, Shane Brewer knocks it out of play. It'll be a corner kick now for the Cougars. Hudson Clevenger over there to take the corner. Kind of at a weird angle here, so I'll be trying to zoom in and out to keep in frame. Sometimes I get caught up missing the action on that, but I'm trying to make sure we see what's happening. Clevenger over there to take the corner on the far side. Spinning ball in. Schumacher looked like Schumacher had a touch, but he missed it. Perigin on the follow went over the goal, and it's a goal kick for the Eagles. The keeper, Wes Hart, for the Eagles takes the goal kick. Back into the middle of the field. Hamlin gets the first touch, rolls through number 5, Barber. Number 12 over there, Finn Harp, plays it back into the middle. Perigin comes in and deflects, ball into the air. Cleared away. Edgar Nato's there to settle, puts it into Clevenger. Clevenger tries to touch forward. Challenge on the ball, deflected in the middle. Cleared away by the Eagles to the near side. Number 2, Grant Fuller, plays it down the line. Wins holding it up as Anredder's able to knock it back in. Number 11, Jacob Schertz, back carrying it across the middle. Bennett Thomas steps up on the cross, clears it back to the back line. Perigin on the run. Perigin steals. He cuts it across to Clevenger in the box. Clevenger lets it roll, takes it with his left, and scores the goal. And the Cougars take the 1-0 lead. Good unselfish play by Michael Perigin. And a nice finish by Hudson Clevenger to take the first score of the game. So we take a look at that on replay as Perigin wins it down. Looks like he's setting up the shot, cuts it back to Hudson. He lets it roll between his legs and then finds it with his left to take the strike. Back to live action. Cougars leading 1-0. Number 11, Jacob Schertz on the ball, plays it over the top. Meningus heads it into the air. Number 1, Devin Greek settles it, takes the shot. Meningus is there to block. Thomas clears into the middle. Hamlin gets a touch but can't control. Number 14, John Peak, plays it wide on the far side. It's out of bounds. It'll be a throw for the Cougars. Kason Hamlin over there to take the throw. Stolen away by number 4, Ryan Bleacher. Ball played up ahead. Meningus is able to win it, plays it down the line but out of play, and throw in for the Eagles. Rush Stewart's able to come up off the initial challenge. Top spinning ball into the middle of the circle, over the top line, all the way into the box. And the keeper, Wes Hart's there to scoop it up. Wes Hart's side spinning ball to the near side. Nelson tries to settle, can't control it. Out of play, Fairgrove throw. Jacob Schertz there takes the throw into the middle. Ben Schumacher steals, touches it up to Perigin. Perigin's able to turn. Up to Schumacher. Schumacher over the top for Clevenger. Clevenger's on. Number 12, Finn Harp's able to get there first, and the keeper, Wes Hart, comes out to grab it. Ball rolled into the middle to Schertz. Perigin comes into steals, able to shield, clips it to Nelson. Nelson gets bounced off the ball, pokes it through, and he'll draw the foul. That'll be a free kick for the Cougars in a dangerous spot. It's kind of a swirling wind, but the wind's definitely in the Cougars' favor in this first half. Michael Perigin there to take the free kick. 35 minutes to go in the first half. Cougars leading 1-0. Perigin asks for space to get the 10 yards. Liam Nelson on the top of the box. Ben Schumacher to the left. Kason Hamlin to the right. Clevenger and Perigin over the ball. Edgar Nadeau also there. Perigin takes the chip into Nelson off of Nelson's shoulder. Cleared away by the Eagles. Up in the air. Schumacher tries to settle. Number 2, Grant Fuller, heads it into the air. Nelson gets to it, tries to chip it in. And Wes Hart is there to scoop it up for the Eagles. Hart from the top of the box punts it away to the far side. Devin Greek settles it down. Perigin comes in and deflects. Cleared away out of the middle by the Eagles. Ball really held up in the wind. Handball on the Eagles will be a free kick for the Cougars. Perigin looking to take it quickly. Perigin deflects off the defender, and Greek's able to get back to win it. Nadeau steps in, claws it down. Perigin steals. Perigin down the sideline, loses it out of bounds, and it'll be a throw for the Eagles on the far side. Ball back into the middle of the field. Greek wins it into a turn, plays it through. Meningus is there to clear. Good ball by Meningus as he drives it through. Nadeau gets a touch on it but can't control it, and it's out of play. Another throw for the Eagles. Ball back in down the line. Bennett Thomas there. Thomas gets the push in the back by Greek, and it'll be a free kick for the Cougars. Dole takes the kick down the line, stolen away by number 14, John Peak. I'm not sure what happened there. Actually, I guess Peak touched it out of bounds. Perigin sends it into the goal, and Wes Hart fumbles it, but is able to get back onto it. Hart to the far side. Hamlin tries to get a touch, goes over top. Greek's over there on the far side, plays it down the line. Hamlin's able to keep it in, cuts it back into the middle. Number 4, Ryan Bletcher. Back to Jacob Schertz. Back to the back line, sent over the top. Ball again being held up by the wind. Dole jumps up in the air for it, fighting for position. Number 2, Grant Fuller wins the ball. Number 10, Tyler Whitehead sends it over the top. Eagles into possession. That's Schertz carrying across the frame. Schumacher defending. Schertz gets a step. Schumacher's able to defend and knock it out of play. It will be a throw for the Eagles. This is kind of a tough view here looking through the crowd, but Jacob Anderson makes a touch, sent over the top. Stewart comes up, is able to secure it for the Cougars. Stewart throws it out to the middle. Perigin has some room. Wins it down with his chest, chips it back to Schumacher. Then Schumacher back to Perigin. 1-2 action. Not enough on it. Stolen by number 4, Ryan Bletcher. Perigin hustles back and wins it. Into the attack. Plays it down the line for Nelson. Nelson holds. Chipped back in the middle for Clevenger. And Perigin hits it with his hand. And it'll be a free kick off the handball for the Eagles. They take it quickly. That's number 12, Finn Harp. Over to the far side for Jackson Anderson. Anderson chips it into the top of the box. Anredder's there on the far side. Anredder with his left, still on the ball. Schertz in possession. All across the middle. Number 14, Peak, plays it wide to Greek. Greek into the box. Nadeau challenges, clips it to the corner. Peak sends it across. Cleared away by the Cougars. Up to Clevenger. Clevenger on the turn. He has room in front. Nelson making the run. Clevenger, good ball, chips it over the top for Nelson. Nelson still on the ball. Takes the shot, and great save by number 21, Shane Brewer. prevent the goal. It'll be a corner kick for the Cougars. Ball sent in. Perigin with the header and scores the goal. 30-23 left in the first half. Cougars take the 2-0 lead. Perigin against 4 Eagles defenders is able to get his head on it for the goal. Restart of play. Eagles play it to the near side. And Redder first to touch, wins it down up to Tyler Whitehead. Schertz is able to turn. Into the corner. Schertz is there, defended by Anredder. Anredder's able to win the deflection. Still on the ball, tries to clear it out. Back into the middle, Perigin's there to turn. Perigin steals. Up to Nelson. Nelson down the line for Clevenger, he's on. Ball's in play. Clevenger into the box, holds up play, sends it across backside for Hamlin. Hamlin chasing to it, can't keep it in, and it'll be a throw for the Eagles. Kind of a wasted opportunity there for the Cougars. Ball back into play. Perigin wins it down, cuts it back. Perigin with the 3-toe in, deflected in the air by Peak. Clevenger chases the ball, deflected away by Hart. Into control by Barber. Nato steps up and steals, gets it back to Clevenger in the box. Clevenger tries to turn on the half volley. And Wes Hart's able to scoop it up again. Ball thrown to the near side. Wynn just takes that right out of bounds. And it'll be a throw for the Cougars. William Nelson there to take the throw. Gets it to Clevenger. Clevenger dribbling across, gets tackled by Grant Fuller, or shoulder barge, I should say. Drop back to Thomas in the middle. Thomas back to Nato. Over to Thomas. Looking to go wide. Thomas cuts it back, giving space back to Meningus. Meningus has pressure, plays it through the middle to Nato. Nato's able to turn. Nato with time on the ball, gets challenged and deflected out of play by number 4, Ryan Bletcher. Throw in for the Cougars. Nato throws it into Clevenger, drops it back to Perigin. Perigin over the top to Nelson. Goes through the first line. Nelson will chase to the end line, but it's out of play. It will be a goal kick for the Eagles. Aaron. Wes Hart there to take the goal kick. Low ball in. Clevenger steals. Tries to turn. Clevenger on the attack. Takes the shot. Far post. And off the mark. Good attempt by Clevenger. It will be a goal kick again for the Eagles. Driving ball to the middle. Goes through the first line. Number 15, Jackson Anderson, being defended by Schumacher. Anderson gets through. Meningus steps up and steals. On the ground to Perigin. Perigin tries to turn, goes through to number 12, Harp. Perigin wins it back, tries to send it through again, deflected by the Eagles. Nato in the middle of the field. Pass over to Schumacher, gets through to Perigin. Clip back in, Clevenger's there, looks for Nelson on the run. Nelson on the diagonal, deflected away. Perigin follows, and just over the goal. Another goal kick for the Eagles. Number 21, Shane Brewer, back to take the goal kick this time for the Eagles. He's the secondary goalkeeper as well. Brewer driving ball into the middle. Schumacher's there to settle, gets it to Nato. Hamlin checks back. Over to Bletcher, stolen by the Cougars to Clevenger. Up to Nelson. Nelson holds up, looks for Perigin on the run. Clipped away by the Eagles to the corner. Back into the middle for number 11, Jacob Schertz. Schertz has some room in front, plays it down the line. Dole gets a nice touch up to Schumacher. Schumacher on the ground, stolen away by number 4, Bletcher. Back into the middle, Thomas clears it. Schertz is there for the Eagles. Schertz cuts it back into the middle of the field in possession. Perigin defending. Up ahead, Thomas again, nice step. Clears it away to the back line for the Eagles. Number 5, Barber there. Plays it high into the air. Wind again holds it up. Perigin knees it forward. Barber wins it back. On the ground wide, but Nelson's there to steal. Nelson plays it into the air. Cleared away this time by number 12, Harp. Nato in the center circle, can't control it. Over to number 4, Ryan Bletcher. Bletcher plays it over the top. Dole heads it away. Over to Schertz. Perigin comes on the challenge from behind. Perigin gets a touch on the ball. Across the field to the near side for Whitehead. Whitehead pushing up into the attack. Schumacher's able to deflect it away. Schertz gets back to the ball. Into the corner, sent across. Headed in the air by number 15, Anderson, but cleared away by the Cougars. It'll be a throw-in again for the Eagles. Ball back into the box. Ben Schumacher tries to clear. Eagles send it back in. Whitehead gets a touch on it. Dole's there to deflect. Nelson chips it to Clevenger. Clevenger has room, tries to play it over the top. Schertz deflects. Back into possession for Greek. Greek with his left all the way up to the top. Number 15, Anderson there. Meningus is able to clear it. Shane Brewer comes in, gets the touch with his shoulder, tries to clear it away. Clevenger is there to win it, plays it over the top for Perigin to chase. A little too heavy as Wes Hart's able to come off his line and win the ball in the box. Quick rollout to the near side for Whitehead. Tyler Whitehead on the ball. He's a freshman defender. Back to Finn Harp. Harp is a sophomore. Over the far side for Greek. Devin Greek, a junior midfielder. And the Cougars win the ball off the Eagles. It will be a throw for the Cougars. Sub in the game, Brandon Schumacher, after having in an incorrect uniform, is now back in the game for Hamlin. Clevenger chips it over the top for Schumacher. Brandon Schumacher into the attack, trying to find his feet. Number 12, Harp, is able to clear it to the far side, but right to Perigin. Perigin into the attack, takes the shot off the post, and it hit Wes Hart in the arm. Is able to keep it out of the goal. Schumacher to Clevenger. Clevenger turns over to Perigin. Perigin tries to clip it back. Perigin gets tripped up, and it'll be a free kick for the Cougars at about 26 yards out. .22:30 left in the first half. Cougars leading 2-0. Perigin and Clevenger over the ball. Brandon Schumacher on the far right. Liam Nelson on the left, along with Ben Schumacher. Clevenger faking with his left. Takes it with his left and bangs it home. Hudson Clevenger, left-footed strike for the goal. And the Cougars take the 3-0 lead. What a banger goal by Hudson Clevenger. Goes with his left foot. Just finds the far right corner for the goal. All right, back to live action here. 3-0 the score. Schertz up to number 2, Fuller. Anredder's able to steal for the Cougars. Back to Dole. Anredder gets it back. Dole being pressured by number 3. All the way back to Stewart in the goal. He sends it to the near side. Nelson tries to win it with his shoulder, and it goes out of play. Quick throw by Whitehead up ahead to Fuller. Fuller to Schertz. Schertz plays the 1-2 over the top to Fuller. Anredder there to defend. And that's into the corner. Ball back into play. Goes over the top. Brandon Schumacher there on the far side. Lets it roll out of bounds. It'll be a throw for the Cougars. Schumacher takes the throw down the line to Perigin. Perigin heads it forward. Number 12, Harp, heads it back into the middle. Nato there on the challenge. Thomas sends it back in. Brewer touches it in the middle to Schertz. Schertz in possession, carrying across the frame. Plays it wide to number 15, Anderson. Into the middle, Ben Schumacher's able to clip it away to Perigin. Perigin to Nelson. Nelson in the center circle, cuts it back. Nelson up ahead for Clevenger on the run. Clevenger's just a step off. And it'll be a free kick for the Eagles. Let's see if we can catch that on the camera. Not sure if I had that in frame or not. It's pretty close. From that angle, it looks like that was a good run, but if the ref looked late like I did, he probably thought he was off. Restart, deflected off Clevenger. Hart has to step up and clear it from the top of the box. Into the middle, Perigin wins it forward with his head. Over to Clevenger, tries to poke it over to Brandon Schumacher on the far side. And Schumacher's offside. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Wasn't offside. It was a foul on, a handball on the Eagles. Perigin takes the three-toe in. Good hands by Wes Hart to secure that over his head. Plays it out to the near side. Nelson on the slide tackle gets called for the handball. And a restart of play by the Eagles. All the way over the top. Meningus is there. Into the middle. Over to Dole. Dole plays it back over the top. Wind really aiding that. Hart goes all the way back to his line and is able to read the hop. Wes Hart from the top of the box punts it into the air. Side spinning ball. Wind holding it up. Schertz heads it to the near side and out of play. And it will be a throw for the Cougars. Nelson up to Clevenger. Clevenger heads it back to Nelson. Number 10, Tyler Whitehead challenging. Nelson gets through. Brewer comes over to help. He's able to clear it down the line. Again, the wind is just really holding that up. Fuller wins it back to Schertz. Clevenger comes on the challenge. Perigin's there also. They are able to steal to Nelson. Nelson over to Clevenger, over to Perigin. Perigin carrying, trying to get past number 14, John Peak. Peak wins it. Gets it to Schumacher. Back to Perigin, back to Schumacher. Schumacher sends it back in on the ground to Clevenger. Clevenger misses the shot, but Perigin's there. Nelson on the ball. And Hart's able to get on top of it at the 12-yard mark. Quickly out, Bletcher sends it back to the middle of the field. Thomas wins it back to the middle. Bletcher over the top. That's number 3 on the attack. Back to Grant Fuller. Schumacher steals, gets it to Perigin with space. Perigin tries to turn, back on the ball, plays it on the ground. Brandon Schumacher on the run. Hart comes up, ball goes backwards in the air. This is a heavy wind. I don't know if you can see that on the camera, but that ball went up in the air and then it went about 5 yards back. On the far side, there's Peak. John Peak down the line. Thomas, good slide tackle to win it. Up ahead to Perigin. Perigin back heel to Brandon Schumacher on the chase. Harp sends it out of play, and it'll be a throw for the Cougars in the attacking third. Perigin takes the quick throw in. Back into the middle. Clevenger settles with his chest, flips it to Nelson. Nelson touches down, takes it with his left. Hart again makes the save. And good communication by the Eagles as number 21 Brewer left it for Hart to get back on top of it. Rolled to the far side for Whitehead, but Whitehead got his feet tangled, couldn't get to the ball. Nelson back into Clevenger. Eagles steal. Over the far side, Thomas gets the first touch. Being challenged by number 15, Anderson. Thomas still on the ball, plays it over the top. Number 14, John Peak there. Ball goes to Brandon Schumacher. Stolen away by number 14, Bletcher. Bletcher on the ball. Carrying with room in front. Schumacher comes to challenge. Played over the top into the box. And Stewart's there to easily scoop it up. Stewart top spinning ball back to the middle. Number 21 Brewer gets the first touch. Plays it to the far side for Ryan Bletcher. Schertz wins the ball back in the middle. On the ground to the near side for Whitehead. Whitehead pushing up into the attack as Schumacher defends. Whitehead across the middle, still on the run. Schumacher with the shoulder barge. Cleared away by Whitehead to the near side. Schertz challenges with Anredder. He's able to win it back and get into the turn. Schertz still on the ball. Anredder trying to find position and wins the ball. Anredder plays it out to the sideline, and it'll be a throw for the Eagles. Roman Brake subbing in the game for the Cougars. Edgar Nato is going to take a sub out. Brandon Schumacher will switch back to the defensive mid position. Ruben Brake will be in the right wing, right attacking mid position. Ball throw in near the corner. All the way back to number 12, Harp. Harp takes the shot. Stewart's there to scoop it, or to grab it out of the air, I should say. Stewart, good top spinning ball past the center circle. Clevenger on the run with number 12, Harp. Clevenger gets there in the box, tries to clip it back, and wins the corner for the Cougars. Good hustle play by Hudson Clevenger. Over there again for the corner. Clevenger driving ball in, headed away by number 5, Barber. Goes out of play. Clevenger's there for the throw. This is a fairly narrow field. Clevenger all the way into the middle for Schumacher. Ben Schumacher takes the strike, deflected away by the Eagles. Back to Schumacher. Ben Schumacher turns, and foul called on the Eagles. It will be a free kick for the Cougars. .14 minutes to play here in the first half. Cougars leading 3-0. Michael Perigin all alone over the ball this time. Perigin takes the strike, spinning ball in, and Hart is there to knock it down and secure it. Hart out to the near side. Number 2, Fuller wins it on the turn, plays it over the top, into the box. Stewart steps up and is able to grab it. Stewart top spinning ball back. Touched first by Brewer. Brewer's able to win it, but Perigin steals. Perigin out on the attack, up ahead. Perigin has room, getting defended at the top. Perigin into the box, deflected away by Brewer. Cleared away back to Clevenger. Number 11, Jacob Schertz, clears it out the sideline, and it'll be a throw for the Cougars. Ruben Brake there with the ball to restart play. Gets it to Perigin. Perigin lets it run, spin it across the near side for Nelson. And that's a good spot to lose a throw in deep in the corner for the Eagles. Whitehouse takes the throw into the box, headed into the air by number 12, Harp. Schertz heads it back into the middle. Perigin's there, heads it over to Ben Schumacher, stolen away by Bletcher. Anredder wins it back over to Perigin. Perigin, nice move to turn. Plays on the ground to Clevenger on the false 9. Back to Ben Schumacher. Schumacher looking for an option, tries to cut it through, gets on the ball, takes the shot, and Ben Schumacher with the goal. Nice attack by Ben Schumacher. Tried to play the ball through to Perigin. It got deflected away, got right back to it, and made a nice strike for the goal. And the Cougars take the 4-0 lead. See, Ben tries to cut it through this double, but it gets right back to it and finds the far post. Back to the live action. Ball played into the box. Meningus, good job clearing it over to Brandon Schumacher. Brandon down the line, connects to break into the middle. Clevenger's there. Clevenger opens up, has Nelson on the run, tries to split, and number 12, Harp's able to clear it away. Fletcher plays it wide. Number 15, Jackson Anderson, shields to get into position, but it goes out of play. It'll be a throw for the Cougars. Dole takes the throw in. Ball into the near side, and Whitehead lets it roll out of play. It'll be a throw for the Eagles. Whitehead back into the play as Nelson chips it away. Out of play again, throw in for the Eagles. Ball into the middle over the top of Perigin. Schumacher back, heels it to Perigin, back to Nelson on the near side. Nelson over the top, and nobody's there on the run. Wes Hart's in the box to pick it up. Hart at the top of the box looking for an option. Punts it into the middle. Wind's really holding up that ball in the air. Nelson chips it back in with his head to Clevenger. Clevenger has Perigin on the run, can't find the feet. Plays it to the near side for Nelson. Nelson chases as Whitehouse shields. And out of play will be a throw for the Eagles. Ball back into Schertz. Clevenger steals. Chips it back into the middle, stolen away by Bletcher. Bletcher drops back to number 12, Harp. Harp sends it into the air, into the center circle. Thomas heads it forward to Ben Schumacher. Schumacher chips it into the air. Back into possession to Clevenger. Clevenger cuts it back. Clevenger turns, plays it to the far side for Brake. Ruben Brake settles it down, gets a touch into Perigin. Perigin back heel to Brake to the corner. Brake being defended by number 5, Barber, and Barber wins it off of Brake for the throw. John Peak over there to take the throw for the Eagles. Over to Greek. Devin Greek being challenged by Perigin. Perigin sends it back across the box. Whitehead one touch back into the middle. Brandon Schumacher heads it back to Clevenger. Clevenger chips it to Ben Schumacher. Schumacher over the top to Perigin. Perigin turns, takes the shot, deflected away by the Eagles. And that will be another corner kick for the Cougars. Eagles keep trying to play that ball in the air on the clear, and the wind is just so strong, it's taking the muster right out of it. 9 minutes to play here in the first half. Ben Schumacher takes the corner kick. Falls to Clevenger. Brake in the middle. Ball comes loose. Brake tries to clip it back. Cleared away by the Eagles. Thomas comes in, plays it on the ground to Ben Schumacher on the far side. Ben across the box to Nelson. Liam Nelson over on the near side, fighting for position with Anderson. Nelson's able to win it and turn. Nelson with Whitehead. Schertz wins it in the box and clears it out to the sideline. It'll be a throw for the Cougars. Clevenger over to take the throw. Clevenger all the way into the box for Perigin. Headed away by Harp. Brandon Schumacher comes in and disrupts. Schertz there, plays it to the near side. And again, the wind just takes it out of play. It'll be a throw for the Cougars. Anredder takes the throw into Clevenger. He wins it with his chest, looking to turn. Ball clipped into the middle. Perigin's there. Perigin takes the strike, deflected off of number 21, Brewer. And Hart's in the box, able to scoop it up. Over to the far side for Greek. Brandon Schumacher comes to challenge. Greek back to the middle, 1-2 with Peak. Thomas again steps up, wins the ball, but Peak wins it back. Schumacher on the challenge. Greek plays it back in, deflected away into the box. Stewart comes up and grabs it for the Cougars. Stewart punts it back into the middle of the field. Goes over the first line. Harp's there and chips it back to the keeper. And that's going to be an indirect as Harp played that back. So it'll be a indirect restart for the Cougars. You can't play it back to the goalie, and the goalie picked it up with his hands. So it does have to touch another person before it goes in the goal. But this is a dangerous opportunity for the Cougars. They do have 10 yards. So that wall will get moved back. So Clevenger can set this up for Perigin to strike if he wants. They also have Brake and Nelson on the left side. Ben Schumacher also coming into the attack. Devin Greek could get a yellow after the walls. "10 yards!" Perigin chips it to the far side, or to the near side, and cleared away by the Eagles. That's some confusion by the ref. Nobody can be within 10 yards, not just the wall. I don't know why he was letting number 1 stand right in front of the ball. Definitely affected the play. Honestly, that should be a yellow card, because if after you've blown the whistle and announced the 10 yards, you can't then allow a player to go in within the 10 yards. But all right, that was a handball on the Eagles. It'll be a restart for the Cougars. Perigin there takes the driving ball up ahead. Hart wins it off the hop. And he'll come to the top of the box, plays it into the middle. Dangerous play to Hart, but he's got space. Hart chips it over the top. Anderson being defended by Anredder. Anredder wins the touch but can't control it out of play. Throw in for the Eagles. Number 11, Schertz, plays it back in. Dole and number 4, Bletcher. Challenge for the ball. Ben Schumacher wins it. Schumacher carrying across. Plays it on the ground to Brandon. Brandon can't control it. Stolen away by Greek into the attack. Thomas there to defend. Greek gets to his left foot. Meningus wins it and clears it away. And good defending by Nixon Meningus to kill the threat. Bad decision there by Ben, and then poor execution by Brandon to combine for a dangerous play. Schumacher clears it away. All the way back to number 12, Harp. Harp sends it back in, but that's going to be out of play. Throw in for the Cougars on the far side. 4:30 to play. Bennett Thomas takes the throw. Perigin heads it forward. Peak heads it into the air and out of play, and another throw for the Cougars. Perigin takes the throw up ahead. Again cleared away. And another throw for the Cougars upcoming. Perigin takes the throw into Brandon Schumacher, being defended by Greek. Perigin makes the move, gets past the first defender. John Peak is able to win it back. Played into the middle. Anredder's there, plays it back to Ben Schumacher on the turn. Schumacher makes a cut, makes one more touch. Schumacher trying to find an option, plays it to Perigin. Perigin deflects it into the box, and the Eagles are able to clear it away. Brandon Schumacher chases back to defend on Grant Fuller. Fuller's able to get around. Dole there to defend. Into the box. Meningus clears it with his left to the near side, and that will be a throw for the Eagles. Ball in. Meningus heads it into the air. Greek's there to try to settle. Thomas comes to challenge. Greek gets through, takes a shot. Meningus blocks it away. Falls over to Perigin on the far side. Perigin over the top. Deflected by Brewer. Clevenger plays it to Nelson. Nelson into the box, being defended by Whitehead. And Nelson can't control that touch with his left foot, and it's a goal kick for the Eagles. Shane Brewer back to take the goal kick, driving ball. Nelson heads it into the air. Settled by the Eagles. Schertz carries across the middle. Pokes it through. Gets it to Bletcher, back to Schertz. Schertz has space in the middle. Plays it to the far side in the air. That's Anderson. Anredder defending. Whitehouse wins it in the middle of the field. Thomas again steps up, clears it into the air off of Whitehead. Brandon Schumacher there plays it to Peregrine. Peregrine makes a nice move to get to space. Plays it to Clevenger. Clevenger was off. He saw he was off, and he went to cut it back, and then he just decided he was going to make the offside run, and it'll be a free kick for the Eagles. Ball into the middle. Peregrine wins it. Played back over the top. Falls to Clevenger. Clevenger in the attack. Setting up the shot. Makes another move. And number 5, Tim Barber, is able to steal it. Heavy on the touch, though. Peregrine steals it back, carrying down the far side. Peregrine still in play. Trying to make a move on Peak. John Peak's able to win the ball back. Plays it out with his left. And it'll be a throw for the Cougars. 1 minute to play here in the first half. Cougars leading 4-0. Peregrine takes the throw into the box to Schumacher. Headed away by Barber and cleared into the air by the Eagles. Dole comes on the challenge, wins it to Brandon Schumacher in the center circle. Brandon to Michael Peregrine. Peregrine tries to poke through again. Peak's able to clear it. Thomas comes up on the challenge with Greek. Thomas shields, gets it in possession over to Brandon Schumacher. Finds Peregrine on the turn. Peregrine gets past Peak up to break. And too heavy as Harps there clears it away. Another throw for the Cougars. Just 20 seconds left to play here in the first half. Cougars need to go quickly. Peregrine to Clevenger in the box. Handball called on the Cougars, I believe. They're going to stop the clock with 2 seconds remaining to discuss the play. It looked like he was in the box, and yeah, they are saying it was a handball in the box. It's going to be a penalty kick for the Cougars with just 2 seconds on the clock. Michael Peregrine will get the penalty. That's a huge call going against the Eagles. He's saying that he put his forearm out. I don't know if you could see the AR from this camera angle, but the AR was saying that he put his forearm out and deflected the ball, and that's why he's calling the handball. It is correct that a penalty kick does stop the clock. That's the one situation a yellow card or a penalty kick that would stop the clock in high school soccer to give him a chance to take this PK. Gavin Dole is over the ball to take the PK. Gavin Dole, the senior center back, and looking for his first varsity goal. This could be it right here. There are 2 seconds remaining, so it is a live ball on the kick. Dole takes the shot and scores. And Gavin Dole, the senior center back, scores the goal to take the 5-0 lead going into halftime. There is actually, there's actually 2 seconds on the clock, and that clock started running on the board, but it shouldn't have officially ran until the restart of play. So we'll restart play here and then go to half. All right, we are officially at halftime. 5-0 the score going into half with the Cougars leading. Hudson Clevenger with 2 goals. Michael Peregrine with the header goal on the assist by Clevenger. Ben Schumacher with the goal, and then Gavin Dole with the penalty kick goal to end the half. All right, we'll take an audio break here. I don't think we're going to go through. Let me see what I'm doing on battery here. I don't think I have enough battery to get through a replay. So we'll just hold here, be back in 10 minutes, and hopefully have enough battery to get through the second half of the varsity game. All right, we are back. Ready to start the second half. Cougars will have the ball going this time into the wind, going north to south. 8-0 mercy rule here in high school soccer. So if the Cougars can get 3 more goals this half before the Eagles can score 1, that will end the game. We do have a JV half coming up after this. I'll see how much battery I have left. I might have to switch to the iPad for the JV game. Let's see what we can do on that. Hudson Clevenger taking the kickoff for the Cougars. Nixon Meningus has moved up to the right wing. Brandon Schumacher on the left wing. Ben Schumacher and Michael Perrigan still in the defensive, or in the midfield position. Perrigan plays it down the line, and that's that wind we were talking about that was affecting the Eagles in the first half. Eagles quickly back into play. Greek gets it past the first challenge. Dole sends it in the air. Wind cuts it back. Nelson, playing on the back line now, is able to shield, and Stewart picks it up for the Cougars. Stewart punts it back into the middle of the field. Whitehead and Meningus challenge for the ball. Meningus heads it forward to Clevenger. Stewart punts it again to Meningus. Meningus heads it down to Perrigan. Perrigan over the top. Clevenger on the run. Clevenger still on the ball, gets to the edge, chips it in, deflects it away. Meningus there with the deflection. Ben Schumacher settles and takes the shot, and far post off the mark. It will be a goal kick for the Eagles. Bennett. Ball played to the far side. Ben Schumacher takes the throw. Back into the middle of the field. Perrigan chips it away to Ben Schumacher. Played back to Perrigan on the run. Michael Perrigan has room, sees Clevenger making the diagonal. Clevenger gets to, takes the shot. And well defended by the Eagles. It'll be a goal kick for the Eagles. Ball punted in the middle of the field. Nato gets the first touch down to Schumacher. Good touch to Perrigan. Stolen back by Bletcher. Over to Schertz. Perrigan comes in, makes the shoulder tackle. Perrigan on the run. Looking for Meningus up ahead. Perrigan still on it. Clipped away by the Eagles. Meningus back in the middle for Perrigan. Perrigan makes a move, looking to get an angle. Eagles playing pretty aggressive defense there. Perrigan still trying to win it. Perrigan loses his feet. And the ball gets cleared away. Out of play, throw in for the Eagles. Perrigan slow to get up. Back in the middle of the field is Schumacher. Steals. Gets it to Clevenger on the 1-2 to Ben Schumacher. And foul called. Gary. Yeah. Be a free kick for the Cougars. About 30 out. Hudson Clevenger setting up the kick. Perrigan is back up okay on the wall. Clevenger chips it over the top, and West Hart is able to grab it off the bounce. Hart to the far side, over to Anderson. Anderson out on the attack. Anredder steps into challenge. NATO comes to pressure. Dole comes in and makes the tackle and lands on the ball. And gets called for the handball. Be a free kick for the Eagles in a dangerous spot. Ball sent in. Stewart's there and brings it in off the bounce. Stewart looking for the quick throw out, decides to punt it away. Meningus heads it back into the middle. Fletcher forward to number 2, Fuller. Fuller gets through the challenge, plays it through to Anderson. Anredder over there on the challenge, but Nelson wins it in the box, plays it down the left side. Number 12, Harp gets it to Peak, up to Schertz. Clevenger defending as Schertz is able to get past. Schertz plays it across. And foul called on the Cougars. It'll be a free kick for the Eagles. Similar spot as the last one. .34-17 left in the second half. No score yet in the second half. Cougars leading 5-0. Schertz there to take the kick, sends a backspinning ball over the top. And number 10, Whitehead, was there but was in an offside position. The flag was up. It'll be a free kick for the Cougars. Dole back to take the free kick. Ball gets held up by the wind. Over to the near side. Meningus tries to chip it in, but it's out of play. It will be a throw in for the Eagles. Whitehead takes the throw in, deflected by Meningus. NATO touches it back to the circle. Schertz to Fuller. Whistle on the play. Guess it was a foul. A drop ball, so I don't know what the whistle was for. Cleared away by the Cougars. Will be a throw for the Eagles here on the near side. Whitehead takes the throw. NATO, good job getting his foot up there to clear it out. Back in by Bletcher. Stewart, good job reading it. Gets it high in the air off the bounce. Out to the far side for Perigin. Perigin holds up. Back to Anredder. Anredder through the middle. Stolen away by the Eagles. Over to Greek. Bennett Thomas defending is able to knock it out of play. And it'll be another throw for the Eagles. This side of the field is definitely an advantage. You can see that wind really affecting the ability to get it out. Whitehead on the ground with his left. Dole's there, clears it back right into Nelson. Nelson comes in and sends it away. A lot of traffic. And Nelson again able to clear. Ball over to the near side for Meningus. Meningus touches to Clevenger. Clevenger plays the bridge touch through. Number 12, Harp, comes in on the tackle. Clevenger into Perigin. Back to Clevenger. Up to Meningus. Meningus tries to turn. Chips it through to Perigin on the run. Back to Meningus. Perigin gets the ball. And cleared away by Schertz. Back to Anredder. Anredder to Dole. Into Ben Schumacher. Schumacher to NATO. NATO through to Clevenger. Clevenger tries to cut it back to Schumacher. Stolen away by the Eagles. Over to Anderson on the far side. Anredder steps in, gets the tackle. Anderson still on the ball and eventually loses it out of play on the near side. It's a throw for the Cougars. Nato takes the throw into Anredder. Illegal throw called by the Cougars. It will be a throw in for the Eagles. Ball down the line. Dole's there, fighting with Fuller. Ball out of play. No, it's actually a foul on Fuller. It'll be a free kick for the Cougars. Gavin Dole there to take the kick. Dole kicked it right out of play. And it'll be a throw now for the Eagles. Number 2, Grant Fuller over to take the throw for the Fairgrove Eagles. Kason Hamlin is subbing in the game. It looks like Gavin Dole did something to his knee on that kick. So Hamlin subbed in for him. Meningus went back to the back line. Perigin gets a touch up to Brandon Schumacher. Schumacher tries to open up to receive, but Barber was there to steal. Anredder takes the throw back in for the Cougars. Schertz wins it down. Clevenger comes back. Clevenger, good aggressive play to disrupt the attack. Clevenger still working. Gets the turn. Clevenger finds some space on the near side. Plays it down the line. Ball gets held up in the air. Hamlin there gets a touchdown with his left. Being defended by Schertz. Schertz is able to steal. Hamlin comes in and gets a big push in the back. And it will be a free kick for the Eagles. Shane Brewer there to take the kick. Plays a low ball in. Thomas, again with a nice step to win it. Up to Perigin, over to Brandon Schumacher on the far side. Schumacher gets challenged by Harp and is out of play, a throw for the Cougars. Into Perigin. Perigin controlling, tries to turn. Gets to Ben Schumacher. Ben looking for an option. Still carrying on the ball. Plays it all the way back to the back line for Nelson. All the way back to Stewart. Stewart chips it back into the middle. Nelson there, tracks it down, plays it into the middle for Nato. Goes through. Whitehouse steals for the Eagles. Hamlin comes and gets the good tackle. Gets it to Clevenger, back to Hamlin. Cleared away by the Eagles. Nato on the near side, comes to the ball, plays it over the top. Perigin's there, gets a touch off his hip. And Harp for the Eagles clears it to the corner. It'll be a throw in for the Cougars. Quick throw into the box. Hamlin's there, bounces over top of him. Brandon Schumacher on the backside. Schumacher cuts it back, makes a move, gets into the box. Schumacher takes the strike, deflected away by the Eagles. Into the attack. A lot of space in the middle for Fuller. Thomas again steps up and wins the ball back to the middle. Schertz being defended by Ben Schumacher. Played over the top. Anredder, good chest to win that down. That ball goes out of play. It will be a throw for the Eagles. Schertz takes the throw in. Ben Schumacher claws it down. Anredder sends it high into the air. Ball getting held up by the wind. Perigin and Hamlin come on. Ball falls to Anderson. Nelson comes in and sweeps it away. Schertz takes the shot and sends it just over the goal. It'll be a goal kick for the Cougars. Boy, this gusty wind, the Cougars are having a tough time figuring it out. Liam Nelson back to take the restart. Gets to Anredder on the ground. Anredder into the middle for Brandon Schumacher. Schumacher at the pivot, gets it wide to his brother Ben. Ben wins it down off the touch from Peak. Peak staying on Schumacher as he drops to Anredder. Anredder on the ground through the middle. Ball's cleared out of play. It will be a throw for the Cougars. Anredder there takes the throw, gives it to Ben Schumacher. Back to Anredder. Anredder finds space, gets to Brandon Schumacher in the center. Schertz comes in and steals. Clevenger tracks back, wins it back to break on the far side. And foul called on Schertz. It'll be a free kick for the Cougars. Nelson taking the free kick for the Cougars. Left-footed ball over the top. One down by Brewer and cleared away by Blitcher. Bennett Thomas challenging with Anderson. Anderson back into the middle. Anredder tries to win it with a header. Falls to Fuller. Fuller takes the chip shot. Doesn't get it on frame, though, and it'll be a goal kick for the Cougars. Nelson again taking the goal kick for the Cougars. Stewart touches it to Nelson so he can carry it out. Nelson to the far side, stolen again by the Eagles. Into Schertz. Schertz cuts it through. Brandon Schumacher, good feet, gets it to Perigin. Perigin through the middle to Clevenger. Clevenger touches it for Ben Schumacher to run. Schumacher holds it up, carrying through the middle. Schumacher plays it to Perigin on the 1-2. Perigin gets through, deflected away by the Eagles. Cleared away back to Clevenger. Clevenger back to Perigin. Perigin sets up the shot, takes the strike, and off the frame. But a nice attack by the Cougars, and it'll be a goal kick for the Eagles. Wes Hart in the goal for the Eagles, taking the goal kick. Plays it short to the near side. Brewer sends it back into the middle, connected to number 3. Meninga steps in and deflects. Break, challenges back, plays it back into the middle, but off the target. Ben Schumacher steals, chips it over the top to Clevenger. And Clevenger and Perigin all alone with the ball. Ref blows it dead. Perigin on the ground to Clevenger. Back to Perigin, chipped into Hamlin. Hamlin can't control it, and Brewer clears it away. It will be a corner kick for the Cougars. Can't really see over in the corner through all the bodies. It looks like Ben Schumacher's coming over to take the corner. Got Hamlin in the middle, Perigin on the backside along with Brake, Clevenger and Brandon Schumacher at the top of the box. Ball sent all the way over to the backside. Perigin chasing, and he can't get there. Ball sent back in, Perigin steals. Can't control it as Peak clears it away into the middle. On the turn for the Eagles. Over the far side for Grant Fuller. And Fuller loses it out of bounds on the sideline. It'll be a throw for the Cougars. Liam Nelson there to take the throw. Nelson back into the middle for Perigin. Perigin gets called for the handball. And it'll be a free kick for the Eagles. Ball sent into the box. Meningas heads it away, resulting in a corner kick on the near side for the Eagles. Number 15, Anderson there to take the kick. Driving ball to the backside. Fuller hits it with his back. Brandon Schumacher over to fight for possession. Brandon wins it up to Ruben Brake. Brake carrying down the far side. Touched out of play, and it's a throw for the Eagles. Back into play for Schertz. Perigin chips it away. Hamlin on the ball. Anderson comes in and gets a touch. Hamlin still challenging. Along with Whitehead, he clips it back to Ben Schumacher. Bennett Thomas comes in on the tackle, still with Whitehead. And the Eagles send it over the top. It will be a free goal kick for the Cougars. 20 minutes left to play here in the second half. Still 5-0. Nelson plays a low ball through the middle. Eagles touch and send it into the box. Anritter plays to the far side. Bennett Thomas, good header down into possession for the Cougars. Ben Schumacher up ahead to Clevenger. Clevenger lets it run and turn. Clevenger still on the ball in the center. Plays it on the ground. Schertz steals. Brandon Schumacher comes in, gets a touch, but can't control as Schertz gets back to the ball. Clevenger comes in and on the tackle. Ball falls to number 14, John Peak. Plays it through to Fuller. Anritter there to shield. And ball goes out of play. Last touch by Anritter. It'll be a corner kick for the Eagles. Anderson over there to take the corner kick, sends it out of play, and it's a goal kick for the Cougars. Boy, I tell you what, the Cougars are acting like there's no wind at all. They just keep kicking it into the middle of the field. They really need to play it out of the back here to get a play connected on the ground. Nelson plays it on the ground to Perigin. Perigin over the top. Clevenger on the run. First touch by Hart, but Clevenger wins it back. Clevenger looks for an option, finds Perigin on the run. Perigin across to Ben Schumacher. Schumacher gets a touch, deflected away, drops it to Brandon Schumacher. Brandon, dangerous pass back. Stolen by the Eagles. Anritter defending on the far side. Brandon gets a chip to Ben. Ben up to Perigin. Through to Clevenger. Clevenger back to Perigin. He's still fighting for it. Schertz comes in and steals. Ball's loose. Ben Schumacher gets a touch. Perigin wins it. Or I'm sorry, that's a break. Wins it, but Schertz steals it back. Played down the line. That's out of play. It'll be a throw for the Cougars. Anritter takes the throw. There's some subs. Actually not sure. Anritter gets called for the illegal throw. Quick restart. Meningus, good job getting the touch, and Anritter clears it away. Clevenger lets it roll for Perigin. Challenge on the ball. One back by the Eagles. Over to the near side for Anderson. Played over for Schertz. Fuller's on. Into the box. Cuts it back. Nelson deflects. Over to Bletcher. Eagles play it back to Bletcher, and Meningus steps in to challenge. Played to the far side. It'll be a throw for the Eagles. into the box. Played back. Pete comes on the follow and can't get it on frame. Goal kick for the Cougars. Nelson takes the low ball, gets it to Brandon Schumacher. He touches it back, tries to cut it through. Schumacher fighting for possession, stolen by Anderson. Meningas steps in and clears it. Then Schumacher on the far side wins the ball down, makes a touch past Schertz. Schumacher with space finds Perigin. Clevenger holds it, plays it over the top for Hamlin on the run. Hamlin gets through. Hamlin gets pushed off the ball. Perigin back to the ball. And corner kick is the ruling. Lane. Cleared away by the Eagles. Ball still in the danger zone. Anderson chips it back to Schertz. Into the middle. Brandon and Fuller fight for the ball. Ball's loose on the ground. Brandon Schumacher wins it back to Hamlin. Hamlin opens up. Still on the ball. Chips it back. Stolen by Anderson. Brandon Schumacher wins it back into an attack. Tries to cut it back. Stolen back by Anderson and cleared away by Whitehead. And all the way into the box for Stewart. Stewart picks it up, punts it away. To the near side, Hamlin tries to get a touch to keep it in and does. Bennett Thomas there to shield. Drops it back to Meningas. Meningas plays it over the top, but Anderson deflects. Number 3 and Nelson challenge for the ball. And foul called on Nelson. It'll be a free kick for the Eagles. About 35 out. Let's see if we can get that on replay. I'm not sure if I actually got that in frame. Oh, sorry, yep. I had the camera too tight. All right. Restart a play. Harp there takes the kick. Ben Schumacher heads it away. Perigin gets the touch. Sent back in by the Eagles and offside position. Stewart gets a save over the top, but offside was called. And it's a free kick for the Cougars. Nelson touches it to Perigin to restart. Perigin sends it over the top. Whitehead heads it to the line. Brandon Schumacher tracks back, wins it to Clevenger. Clevenger to the corner for Hamlin. Hamlin wins it through Brewer. Black to the middle for Clevenger. Clevenger sends it in, cleared away by the Eagles. Clevenger fighting for position, heads it into the air. Played to the middle of the field. Anderson. Ben Schumacher into the attack, up to Perigin. Perigin turns. Perigin into the box, gets tripped, and penalty called. And the Cougars will get another penalty kick. I think that's what they're calling. They have the clock still running. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Michael Perigin takes the shot and scores the goal. And the Cougars with their second penalty kick, leading 6-0. .11:08 on the official clock after they didn't stop it on the penalty kick. Restart of play. Ball played over the top. Anretter there on the far side heads it down to break. Break sends it into the air. Brandon Schumacher sends it into the air. That's definitely not the way to play it out of the back on this windy day. Anretter on the ground, gets it to break. Peak comes in on the challenge. Brandon Schumacher gets a touch to Perigin. Perigin over the top. All the way back to Harp. Harp sends it back in. Thomas again reads it. Over to the far side. Peak plays it through. Anretter chasing along with Fuller. Anretter gets a touch off Fuller, and Anretter last to touch. It's a corner kick for the Eagles. Eagles have 5 at the top of the box. Thomas and Nelson on the posts. Ball's loose. And number 4, Ryan Bletcher, gets a touch on it, but sent it over the goal. Guess there's a deflection on that. I didn't see it, but deflection by the Cougars. It'll be another corner kick. Anderson over there to take the corner again. Low ball in. Meningus, good job heading it away. Meningus chasing for the ball. Fuller's there first. Meningus gets the tackle and gets called for the foul. Let's see if we can see this play. Looks like a pretty clean touch by Meningus. But ref trying to control the game a little bit as it's getting physical. Ball sent in by the Eagles. Stewart's there, is able to secure it out of the air. Under 8 minutes to play. Ball sent back to the middle. Clevenger and Peak challenge for it. Peak wins it on the turn. Ball into the middle. Nelson with his right plays it into the air. Brewer heads it in the air. Hamlin comes on. Hamlin with his shoulder trying to find position. Hamlin still fighting for it. Finds the drop to Clevenger. Clevenger and Bletcher fight for the ball. Clevenger wins it back to Perigin, back to Clevenger. Falls to Ben Schumacher. Schumacher to Clevenger, back to Perigin. Ball lost in the middle as Brewer's able to clear it away to the far side. Number 2, Fuller on the ball. Being defended by Anretter. Anretter is able to win it, gets it to Perigin. Back to Anretter on the far side. Played down the line for break. Number 24, Rittinger, plays it out of play. It'll be a throw for the Cougars. Ben Schumacher there to take the throw, plays it to Perigin. Perigin tries to poke it through, gets it to Ben Schumacher. Schumacher in, cleared into the air by Harp. Clevenger tries to win it on the ground to Perigin. Perigin takes it across, and a good save by the keeper. Ball still in play. Hamlin tracks back. Whitehead wins it and loses it out of play. On the near side, it's a throw for the Cougars. Ball back in. Hamlin with his shoulder. Headed forward by Anderson. Meningus, good karate kick back into the middle of the field. Peak heads it back to the back line. Anrider comes up, wins the ball on the ground to break. Break chips it over the top, and Schertz clears it all the way to the end line. That's going to be in the box. Stewart comes over and grabs it. Stewart on the ground to Nelson. Bouncing ball. Falls to Meningus. Meningus, good touch up ahead. Fletcher to the ball. Drop back to Whitehead. Back in the middle for Schertz. Perigin there to defend. Perigin wins it in the center circle. Plays it through to Clevenger. Clevenger tries to turn, gets it to Perigin. Perigin makes a move on the back line. Cleared to the far side to break. Schertz clears it. Thomas over here can't get a touch. Anderson can't keep it in, and it'll be a throw for the Cougars. And Thomas back to Nixon Meningus. Meningus tries to drop to Nelson, doesn't get enough on it. Meningus, good job recovering. Gets it back to Nelson, the Greek challenging. Nelson on the ground to Ben Schumacher, stolen by Schertz. Schumacher comes back to win it. Nelson steps. Nelson steals on Fuller. Plays it through the middle. Peak steals. Peak plays it in to Fuller, but Nelson's there to deflect. And it's a throw in for the Eagles. Sub at the line, though, for the Eagles, so we'll slow up play. Peak takes the throw in into the box. Dangerous ball. Stewart's able to come up and get it off the bounce. Stewart punts it to the near side. Hamlin grabs Barber around the neck and no call. And it's a throw in for the Cougars. Brandon Schumacher takes the throw to Bennett Thomas. Thomas on the tackle is able to win the ball. Leaves it for Brandon, plays it through. Ball played all the way back to the near side. And that's out of play. It'll be a throw for the Cougars. Ed Grenada subbing back in the game as Brandon Schumacher subs out. Thomas up ahead to Perigin. Perigin's able to turn it down the line. It's out of play, though. It'll be a throw for the Eagles. Back in the middle for Schertz. Harp loses it. Ben Schumacher's there to steal. Perigin into the box, takes it with the three-toe. And Hart gets a touch on it to send it over the goal. It'll be a corner kick for the Cougars. Schumacher starts the corner with a short pass to Perigin. Perigin into the box. Drops it to Break, who sends the shot over. And it is a goal kick for the Eagles. Back into the middle of the field. Break takes the throw in up ahead. Fletcher there clears it away for the Eagles. Nelson shields back. Nelson being challenged, trying to shield. And out of play, it's a throw for the Cougars. Nelson takes the hard throw down the line, but can't get it in play. And it's a throw for the Eagles. Number 11, Jacob Schertz there to take the throw. Schertz trying to get to the end line. Gets a little heavy on the touch and loses it out of play. It'll be a goal kick for the Cougars, 1:30 to play. Stewart restarts play with a touch to Perigin. Perigin just letting the clock run. Greek comes on the challenge. Perigin plays it to the near side for Hamlin. Hamlin wins it. Hamlin into the attack, into the box. Takes the shot and can't get it on frame. Be a goal kick for the Eagles. Wes Hart restarts it with a short ball. Played into the middle. Schertz is there, 30 seconds to play. Played over the top. All the way to the corner. Nelson chases to the corner, keeps it in, and loses it out for a corner kick. 15 seconds to play. Will probably be the last play of the game. Anderson sends it in. Stewart's there and makes the save. And he'll fall on the ground. That will conclude the match. Final score, Cougars 6, Eagles 0. And we'll take a break here, and let's see how much battery I have left. I'm going to have to switch to the iPad for the JV game, so we'll bring up a new stream to start the JV game.